What is up, my beater bros? Maine-iac here. Monday, December 3rd, and we are back with NBA game picks and spreads, getting ever closer to the epic Christmas Day matchups. And I know I've been mentioning that in the last few videos, but Christmas basketball is some of the most intense environmental basketball you'll see outside of playoffs, and I love how teams elevate themselves on Christmas, and it's something special. But anyway, a slight recap of yesterday. We don't usually do this, but I figured I had a little extra time, so I figured I would. Grizzlies put up a nice tough fight against the 76ers. Got it within 10, which is pretty good. But like I said, youth, a little bit too much. Clippers, Mavericks. Mavericks pulled off the upset at home, and Doncic made the face of a lifetime. It possibly could actually be a meme for generations to come. Trailblazers not only upset the Spurs not only upset the Trailblazers, but they beat them by 13. The Spurs finally scored 131 points. This is an incredible development for a team that's currently outside of the Western Conference playoffs and looking to get in. Hopefully they can keep it up. Jazz lost yet another one to the Miami Heat, making them the second worst team in the West, right behind the Suns, who got blown out by the Lakers, but I kind of saw that coming anyway. Booker, I think he got hurt. Hopefully all is well with him. And the Pelicans managed to beat the Hornets by 10, so that was good as well. We got some good games going on today. We have 7 games on the slate, 1 nationally televised. Nothing later than 8 p.m. start time, which is actually really interesting, because usually there's always a 9:30 game. It might have to do with locations of all these games, but we'll get to that in a second. We have the Thunder at the Pistons. Like I said, the only nationally televised TV game, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, NBA TV, for those of you who are interested in watching. Thunder are currently favored by 1 by the spread. I'm going to take the Thunder to win this one. I think they have a slight edge in athleticism. I think that's going to be what gets them the win here, and I think I would take the Thunder to cover the spread since it's early, up to about 4.5, about 4.5 points. I would feel safe betting on to cover that, just in case it changes. And then you have the Warriors or the Hawks. Warriors favored by 11. I think they're going to blow out the Hawks. I think they would cover a 17-point spread if necessary. I know that seems disrespectful to the Hawks, but you're the Hawks. They're the Warriors. It's one of the most lopsided matchups ever. But this could also be a trap game as well, spread-wise. Be wary of it if you are actually going to bet, because these are the kind of games that usually someone on the Warriors sits out the fourth quarter or something like that, so it might give the Hawks a chance to come back. So always keep that in mind. Then you have the Cavaliers at the Nets. Already a combined 34 losses between two teams. I never thought I would really say that this early on. Brooklyn's favored by 6 in this one. It's very interesting to see the Cavaliers play this one. How are they going to approach it? Are they going to let Sexton take over like he has been trying to for the last couple games? Because that is a very, very interesting factor. Will they get Larry Nance involved? Because I think Larry Nance needs to be a big part of this team if they're going to succeed, especially without Kevin Love in the lineup due to injury. I'm going to pick the Nets to win this one and cover the spread at home. I think the inexperience of the Cavaliers is going to be their downfall, at least in this matchup. Then you have the Wizards at the Knicks. Wizards favored by 1.5. I want to take them to win and cover as well. Finally get their 10th win of the season. Knicks have been performing quite admirably as of late. They did manage a win over the Bucks in overtime, which was pretty nice. Then you have possibly the game of the week. We have the number 1 team in the West, the Nuggets, due to the Clippers losing last night, and the number 1 team in the East, the Raptors, who already have 20 wins. Raptors currently favored by 6.5, and I think the Raptors will win. I think they will cover as well. One factor is that, yes, they are at home, and I think the Raptors do play with a little more grit at home. And another factor is I don't think they have anyone defensively at the 3 to really match up with Kawhi. I think possibly your best matchup that way to defend Kawhi is possibly to put Paul Millsap defensively against him, and even then you'll lose. I'm not dissing Juan Hernan Gomez at all, but I don't think he has what it takes to guard Kawhi, and Kawhi should eat in this one. And then you have the Rockets at the Timberwolves. Rockets currently favored by 2 here. This is actually a very, very important game. This is battling for who's poised to come back into the West. The Rockets did fall out of the playoffs yesterday with some of the results that happened. so they could probably climb their way back in with a win. I think the Rockets win this one. I think James Harden has too much for the Timberwolves. I like what Covington's been doing for the Timberwolves, so it should be a close game. 2-point spread, I think that is actually pretty ideal. I would take the Rockets up to a 2.5, because I think this should be a really close game. And you have the Clippers at the Pelicans. Pelicans and Clippers both had interesting results last night. New Orleans currently favored by 2.5, and I'm going to take New Orleans to win and cover the spread in this one as well, with the huge difference maker being Anthony Davis in this one. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. And interesting question to know if you watched this all the way through and you are at this point. Well, first off, thank you very much for your patronage. I do highly appreciate it. But let me know, what is the biggest surprise you think for the NBA season so far? Personally, if I had to answer that question myself, it would be the Rockets struggling. Now, I know, well, it wouldn't just be the Rockets. It would be the elite of the West from last year struggling. The Pelicans, the Rockets, the Jazz. They ended last year on such high notes, but they're not having a good season so far, but they look like they're on their rebound, minus the Utah Jazz, of course. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.